Mustang podcast number one. Number one.
First episode.
So, what we're going to start with is, Josh, how did you get here, mate? What got you to commit to CM? What was your first impression when you got here? Start us off.
Alright, so I'm going to introduce myself real quick. I'm Josh with Chery, from Newark, New Jersey, 6'3", and, I'm on a scholarship to St. Francis University. So I'm out of here, it's my last year. But I just want to start off, how did I get here? So coming out of high school, I wasn't the best student. I was really good at basketball, but, off the court, I was into the wrong stuff. And that hit me hard because when it came to recruiting, as far as my grades-wise, people would look at that and just try to get money out of me, get me to pay money, to the school. And I'm talking about $30,000, $40,000, so on and so forth. I was running out of options. I didn't have a lot of money as my family. So, I had a great coach, Coach Dolan, and he told me he knew about a place in Maine, and it was Central Maine. And he said, the coach is great, the people are great up there, and they're really, really genuine. And, I heard that thousands of times before. So I was like, all right, but I'll give it a shot. Next thing I know, I'm on a FaceTime call with Coach. It lasted a long time, and he didn't really care about my basketball skills. He really cared about me as a person, and he really just showed real interest in me. And, I really liked it, so I ended up coming for a visit. And that's when
Great tour guide.
Yeah, that's when I met Cam. And I didn't even expect, nothing crazy at the visit because, everyone says it's a community college, but this visit was something different. They really cared about you. They really showed. It was one time I was sitting with Coach, and he actually took my family out, for a tour of the school where I wasn't even there, and that showed a lot. And that taught me that, a lot of people, some people really just care about you and don't really just want you for, the accolades and what you do in the past. So, funny story that actually came from that, we ended up playing basketball, and I was in my my khakis and like
jeans
and stuff like that. We ended up playing basketball, and I think when I really had them sold was there was this big kid, I don't know,
Colton.
Yeah, or something like that. And so I think our old athletic trainer Terry shot and it back rimmed, right, and it was coming off. And this big guy Colton, I'm talking about like 6'6", 6'5", Jack, goes up for a rebound, and I'm over here and I jump over him. And I grabbed the basketball, trying to do a putback dunk over him. I missed it, but I think I had him sold out.
After that, we were just we looked at Coach like, oh, damn.
Yeah. So after that, I talked to Coach. I talked to Cam. I came back from another visit, met another Australian named Freddie, and I was just sold on this school, man. Everything about it, I really liked, and I don't regret anything, none of my decisions. So.
All right, Corey, mate, how did you get here? What was your story?
So I kind of go off what Josh said. I'm from Ocala, Florida, 6-foot point guard. Started for 2 years here. I got here from actually our old assistant, our first year, Cam's second year. And he was my old AE coach back home, and he decided to move to Maine and become a coach here. And I was in prep school at the time, and he reached out and said, basically, I don't care what you're doing, you're coming to see him to play for us. So I was kind of iffy because it was in Maine, so nobody really knew about Maine. Ironically, my mom is from Maine, so my mom obviously was all for it. And so I talked to my coach, my mom, my dad, and I just decided I don't need a visit, I don't need any of that. I just took a chance and came, and for all you people that are coming, it is the best decision I ever made in my life because I got my lifelong friend right here, another lifelong friend. They're all going to be at my wedding someday. And yeah, so that's really basically how I really got here.
So my first, I'm a bit older than you guys, an extra year. So my first experience was it was a bit different because we graduated a bit earlier in Australia. So I was coming over here at 17. So I was a little bit more hesitant to commit straight away to somewhere where I was coming from the other side of the world, so like it's a bit weird. Like I was just like, well, how am I gonna find a place without having to go visit that will accept me for the player I am and the kind of person I am? And then, of course, the first school that I reach out to, which was CM, like I had a bunch of emails, offers and stuff that I could go through, and I just was like, all right, let's start at the top, start with CM, and I reach out to coach, and I FaceTime him, and we're talking, and I'm just like, wow, this dude is really like genuine. I was just like, all coaches must be like that. I didn't have that experience that you guys have of like coaches not telling the truth or coaches selling you a bunch of goods. So I got to meet someone genuine for the first time. So I had a good experience my first time, and then I got to, much like you did, I got that leadership from someone that was already here in P. I got to talk to him, and then we just went from there. So I came over, my first impression, I legit can still remember driving down the driveway for the first time. Like I can legit like remember doing that for the first time, walking in. I go to shake coach's hand, and he like smacks my hand out of the way and gives me a hug, and I was just like, what the heck, like what? Like it was just so weird. Like, and then like that kind of like relationship building continued on from there, and like it's just all love, and like it sounds hokey and like weird to say that, but like it is like all love here. Like people, they don't care how good you are at basketball. Obviously that is a big deal because that's what you come here to do. You come here to play, but like that off the court stuff is something that you can credit to here, and it's different to other places. I haven't been anywhere else, but like the other places we play, you see the other team looking at us in warm-up lines and like looking at us, and they're not looking at us because we're doing crazy dunks or doing stuff like that. They're looking at us because of how we interact as a team and how we joke around and have fun and all that. So I think that there's like credit to something like that. So like, what do you think? Like, do you think we're like it's something special here, like that we have that kind of bond? Like, can you say about the relationships here?
Yeah, the relationships, you know, at CM, especially on the court or off the court, as a collective, it's unbreakable. It's something that we have that many schools don't have. It's you know, I always say it's like a certain vibe that you get. You know what I'm saying? And that vibe that you get when you put this across your chest as a Mustang, that vibe you get is you can feel it. You know, and it goes through your veins, kind of. It's and it's weird because you know you can meet these guys for the first time, and in 2 months, you know, you're telling the next guy too all your secrets and stuff, just because that type of bond you have with them. You know, you're going to someone when you're sad on your team, or you're going to someone when you just aren't feeling yourself, and you know they can put you back to earth real quick just because they really care about you. And it's a real genuine feeling, you know, when you play for CM. As far as that goes, you know, with the staff, with the teachers, or just anyone on this campus, is just really want the best for you no matter what, even if it hurts your feelings, even if, you know, it's reality. You know, they want the best for you. They're going to tell you straight to your face, and that's what I really like about CM, and that's what really, you know, that's why I'm really passionate when it comes to CM sometimes, because, you know, you get the truth, and even if you don't want to hear it, that's what you get, so.
So Corey, how have you, like, what kind of relationships have you built here? Like, you said, like, obviously with us two are lifelong friends, and like, but other than us, like, what kind of relationships have you built? How important has that been to you?
It's probably one of the most important things in my life. Obviously, you guys, most of you guys,
yeah.
All of y'all. But the biggest thing would probably be Coach. I have older parents, so Coach kind of like took the role of my dad. So I kind of see Coach as my second dad, and that's the kind of relationship that I like for the rest of my life, no matter where I go, what I end up doing. That's probably the biggest relationship that I have. That I always have his back no matter what, because I owe him, because he's probably the only coach that took a chance on me after, you know, my prep year. So I would say that is the biggest one. Coach Stevie is a big one, because he's not like super serious on the super serious side. Like, he's like one of us, you know, like away games, and you know, if we're just messing around, he's always like there to mess around with it. He knows how to have fun, you know, like kind of get the burden off our back that we have to be serious sometimes. Like Coach could be like, he can have fun. Yeah, he can have fun, but most of the time he means business, because you know he wants to win. So that's probably the two biggest relationships that I've like connected to as my time here at CM.
So like I feel like personally like the relationships help you grow as a person, and like I've noticed like over time like I'm a completely different person in a good way to when I first came in the doors here. So like, how have like those relationships and stuff that you've built with friends, teammates, staff, how has that helped you grow as a player and as a person?
Well, to touch on that, like you said, I'm completely different how I am now than what I was when I walked through the doors. You know, I'm originally a city kid. You know, I'm used to surviving. You know, I didn't have the knowledge of, you know, who I actually am, what my purpose is, you know, so on and so forth. But, you know, after meeting my first year, I roomed with Cam, I roomed with Kenny, I roomed with Freddie. They're all Australians, right? And you have a black city kid to, you know, put in that. And
with your mates.
Yeah. So what I realized is I didn't have to, you know, I didn't have to be in that survival mode all the time. I didn't have to feel like everyone's out to get me. I just, you know, I sat back, I relaxed, and I just gained so much from just rooming with them. You know, they're really intelligent, they're really smart, and you know, I just sat back and really just analyzed everything they did, analyzed, you know, how they approach everything. You know, if something happens to you, you don't have to, you know, become angry so fast. You don't have to react. You don't have to. It's just crazy. You know, the experiences you get, not even on the court, but just off the court, by building those relationships and those bonds. And I actually went to Australia with them this past summer, just because that bond and that, you know, what we have together. You know, it's truly something special. That's what you don't get that everywhere else. Just because you actually live with them. You have a small little apartment, you could say, and you guys live with each other. You know, you have your own room, but that living area you have, like that little living room.
That's where like the bonds are made.
Yeah, that's where everything's made. You know, so you know, touching on that, man, it's really life changing, and it's cliche, but again, I see these guys as my lifelong friends. Even Corey, I even room with him, but you know, I talk to him about a lot of stuff. We always work out with each other, and just, you know, it's just something you don't get anywhere else.
So like in terms of like you said, like work out together, do you feel like coming here, like you've improved yourself? Like obviously we all know like you have to put in the hours off the court, like we all know that. But do you feel like you've gotten better since you come here?
I do, both like on the court and off the court. Like a little story that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. Me and Josh were in the gym playing pickup with the guys, and we looked at each other, and I was like, I remember our first year when we said we were going to get scholarships and offers, and we both looked at each other and started laughing. He was just like, yeah. I was like, remember those early mornings and late nights? And he was just like, yeah. And then I was like, now we're sitting here now, like we're about to sign. You know, he's going to St. Francis. I have multiple scholarship offers, and it's kind of like surreal because like, we were just two kids just sitting there like, all right, you know, we're about to make our dream a reality, and we went and got it. So I feel like I got better as a player. You know, after my first year, it was kind of, you know, iffy, but I locked in and, you know, kind of paved the way for the guys, you know, and bought into the system, because that's really what this is all about. We gotta like buy into the system, and I'll be the first to admit I didn't really buy into the system my first year. You know, it was kind of a weird thing because, you know, I had to kind of be the leader of the team when I was getting leaded at my last school. You know what I mean? So I feel like I became better as time went on, and now like as a person as well. So.
And it's weird, like for people that don't know what the system is, like the way you can explain it is kind of like, all right, we start with a huge group of people. We start with a huge group of players, and then we're gonna go through all these practices, all these fundamentals, boring drills. Like we can all agree those drills suck. Like they suck. But like that's where like I feel like character is built. Like obviously I've been here long enough, so I've seen it's probably been around 100 players come through here, and I've seen it. And the people that stick and commit to the fundamentals and doing those boring drills, they're honestly the ones that always make it out. So like for you two to make it out, I can say like you fit that mold. You are the ones that made it out because you are doing the fundamentals and you're in there consistently every day, working out and committing to the system. So like, just speak like, what is your definition of the system of CM? What would you define the system as?
Simply just buy into the program. You know, program's already set. You know, even before you come here, you're not going to change the program. The program changes you. You know what I'm saying? Example of that is.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Example of that is I came in from my high school. You know, it's a big high school, right? We had this big 7-footer. We also had another big power forward. So I'm over here. I'm playing wing. You know, I'm used to playing wing and stuff like that. I come here, and immediately the system is we run small, we play small, but we get up and down the court quick, we shoot, and that's how we play. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I had to adjust like that quick. I hit the weight room. You know, I did everything I had to do. I ended up playing down low. That was my first year. My second year, you know, my head was, you know, it was in the right spot, just because, you know, I thought, yeah, I got way better. You know, I did my time down low. I want to, you know, kind of expand my game a little bit, and you know, it happened. You know, I played out in the wing a little bit and stuff like that, but you still have, the system is still the system at the end of the day. So while I was playing out in the wing, you know, sometimes we weren't rebounding. All right, let me have to go back down low. Let me rebound because I can rebound. And then when I'm out in the wing, you know, you still have to do your due diligence. Due diligence. Yeah, you still have to do that. And no matter how good you really think you are, you just have to play the system. And at the end of the day, like, you can't worry about your numbers. You can't worry about, you know, we're playing a team that's 0-7. You know, it's time for me to get mine. It's time for me to get my 40. You know, the system is a system at the end of the day. And, you know, it humbled me. And from that, I grew more as a player, I think, because from that, the off season, I was in the gym 24/7, 7 days a week, just going crazy, just knowing that, you know, I have to do what I have to do to, you know, get better as a player and just get my mind right. And you know, it paid off for me. You know, I did a couple things this year that I never thought I would be able to do. My first year, and I just improved my game so much. Wing, down low, just anywhere as a leader, just everything, just by the system. So again, system is just straight, you know, just don't do anything stupid, just be smart, and, you know, from there we'll just build on after that.
So Corey, like obviously you ran the system, you were the leader of the team, point guard, bringing it down.
Yeah.
So in a guard-centric team, so we have a lot of guards, what do you think, how do you define the system as? Like, if someone came up to you and were like, all right, how do you guys play, what would you say?
I'd say we play really fast, but controlled. Coach always wants the ball in the point guard's hand, you know, unless, you know, it's a steal and you know, fast break. But I'd say we play very fast, we like to shoot a lot, and just like we're energetic from all aspects, you know, from the court to the bench to, you know, pre-game, like we're all just wild up and ready to go. So I would say that.
Don't forget about defense, yeah.
Defense is crazy. Yeah, we just yelling and, you know, trying to force turnovers and stuff like that. So I would say that would be my really standpoint from like
on court, like how the system is.
Yeah, how the system is, and we don't really need a guy that's gonna clear out and score 40 or.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way because it's not set to work that way. We all play together to win because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like me and Josh got scholarships by not scoring 40. We got scholarships because we bought in, and you know, we played as a team and did what we needed to do to win. So.
Right. Like you have guys in the league that, you know, scores 30 a game or scores 25 a game. But at the end of the day, if you don't buy into the system, what does that really do for you?
If you're not winning, what is it worth? Like,
I'm just gonna be real right now. If you're a recruit coming and you're expecting, okay, it's a community college, a small conference, you know, I'm gonna come here and drop 25 a game. I'm gonna be that guy. This is not the school for you. Yeah. And I'm just gonna be honest, because I was that guy at one point. You know what I'm saying? I was, you know, I thought my head was bigger than it was, and I got humbled so quick. And yeah, but I got humbled so quick because it helped having an experienced player, and you know, my roommates were real supportive. You know, rather than having someone that, you know, is coming from somewhere else, that's put in a room, maybe not really experienced player, and it's just the situation is just completely different, and they just tumble, and the downfall is just not what you want. So
yeah, so touch on that. Like that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. So like, how is it like? Obviously, we were roommates together,
Yeah.
so like we know what it's like to be together. But like for someone that's coming here and you're about to meet someone new, what is the living situation like? So like tell us about like where you live, how it is, like what it's like living with new people for the first time.
Well, where you live is like, so again, it's like a little apartment or like a little house, right? So you walk up the stairs. This is how where I live. So you walk up the stairs, right, and you have one bathroom, between 4 people. 2 sinks, shower, all that you need. Okay, you walk and you have a big living area, right? You have your microwave, your fridge, all that stuff, and then you have 4 separate rooms. You get your own room. That's a big advantage. A lot of schools have that, so you get your own room. But again, that living area is the key factor. When you first come here, and I know a lot of people are gonna be scared, right? New school, new place, new journey by yourself. But that's how I was. But when you really touch down and meet, your new roommates and stuff like that, it's not. They're going through the same thing you're going through. It's not. They're not. It's just the same thing. So instead of coming here, you're scared, you're just really anxious. You gotta just come here just calm. Don't be afraid to ask your roommate for a helping hand. Don't be afraid to start a conversation or build bonds. That's how everything gets started, and that's how you get like a head start in front of other people, in my opinion. So doing that is really good, and I just think that's just the best way to go about things.
Corey, how do you feel, mate? Like you didn't really have like the same roommate bond we had, but like how was your experience living on campus? Like obviously, like talk about how it's like it's an advantage to live here instead of like living off campus like you would at another school. Like you got the gym, like just talk about that.
Living on campus is great. I like it. I'm like 3 steps away from the gym. The gym is open whenever we want it to be open.
24/7.
24/7. The cafeteria is 4 steps away from here, from where you live. I didn't really have like the roommates like they had, but I always pop around because like that's kind of like my job, on and off the court. So I still get those bonds, but I feel like the room, like your own room, is like
it's awesome.
that's like the best part.
Yeah,
like you can do whatever you want, like just relax, do whatever you need to do. If you need to study, like you got your own room, and then when you want to like watch TV, just go chill in the living room with your friends or your roommates or whoever. So that's really probably like the biggest thing for me.
So like I'm sitting here with the 2 scholarship stars. How was the exposure? Like how was like that's all like in basketball nowadays. That's all people care about is like, all right, where's my next step? Where's my next step? How was the support from teammates, coaches in terms of getting you out there? Like obviously, like it's a big deal. Like like people that are watching probably like we're all done here now, so like they want to know coming in, is it worth their investment? Like because that could be just their only goal. I want to come here and move on.
Right.
How do you feel it was? Or did you have to do a lot of it yourself, or like how is it? Or was it a combination? What was it?
Well, it was a little mixture. It was a little mixture of both. So again, you come here. It's a small conference and stuff, but we stream all our games, right? So all our games are streamed all across the world, and I'm telling you, you wouldn't even believe some of the places that we get these views from. But the coaches, down to the teammates, down to staff, down to everyone, all support you in what you want to do. I remember when this year when we were playing Vermont Tech, I think, and I had a coach that flew in to come see me play, and coach, he didn't want to make it a big deal, but he just made it known that like this coach is here, let's get Josh the ball, but let's just how it is.
Yeah.
So
how is it?
yeah, you just get
We're
more.
just gonna go through Josh.
Yeah, you just get more touches than you usually get. But again, that helped. I had a great game that game. We ended up losing 2 overtimes, but still that game was great. And just knowing you had your teammates before the game, just like welcome to like, yo, this is yours. You got this. So like, a timeout if you miss two shots or you got 2 turnovers. Yo, pick your head up. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, this is your game. This is what you work for all your life. This is what you want to do. You know, just pick it up. You know, this is you. And just having that, you know, you just feeling that, and you just having that support cast around you all the time when you want to reach that goal, you know, it's great. And that's what you're going to have at CM. But the downfall to that is, you know, we're
out of the way. Like,
yeah, that, and we're really honest. So if you think you're a scholarship player, right? How I was my first year, I thought I was a scholarship player my first year. And
had to wake up to yourself.
You know, yeah, I had to wake up to myself. I was doing my own recruiting my first year because coach didn't think, and it was the best choice for me, honestly. He didn't think I was ready to be on a scholarship level. And that was the hard truth that I had to swallow, right? So I was doing my recruiting myself. I ended up getting to school, told coach I want my release forms, and he sat me down.
Spoke about it all.
Yeah, spoke about it all, just humbled me like that. And coach is a really genuine guy. He wants the best for you. And that's some of the things that, you know, you just need as a person. That's just like a life lesson. And you know, I'm so grateful for that experience. I'm really grateful for that, and I'm thankful that he did that to me, because if he didn't, and would have just let me go off and pay for my education, you know, I had a scholarship, but it wasn't what I have. It wasn't what I have now, and just let me go off and do whatever I have to do. You know, he wouldn't have to worry about me ever again, and just would have been like that. And you know, I could have had the worst experience over there, but you know, he took the time to chat with me, you know, talk about the options, and he had faith in me that I can come back and get, you know, a better school. I can get better myself and have a better scholarship, and that's exactly what happened. So that's how it was for me.
So Corey, like for you, like it was a little different. You came here already with like options on board.
Right.
For people in that same sort of situation, what's it like coming here to develop?
Biggest cliche you probably ever hear is go where you're wanted. That's probably the biggest thing for me. Shout out Coach Dixon and Coach Kirkland back home. They actually the ones that are doing my recruitment. I didn't really have to do it by myself, and that's probably half the reason why I have all the schools I have right now. But yeah, coming from multiple options, I would say go where you're wanted. You know, it's a big cliche that people are always like, what, you know, whatever. But it's the honest truth. Like Coach Dixon and Coach Gagne, after I talked to them, they were just like, yeah, you're coming. Yeah. So like, why would you want to like burden that? You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's really the thing is like that for me. Like now, I'm undecided right now, and Coach Gagne still like make sure that I make
every day.
You know,
even before we were doing this.
Even before we just did this, Coach, he was sitting in the third row back right here, and we just like, so what's new with you? Like,
what's going on?
Everything down. And it's hard because, you know, I pick up a new school every other day, and I don't want to miss out on an opportunity, but I always go through him because he just looks out like
that experience and that, like he knows
he doesn't want someone to take advantage of you, and sometimes in this business, you know, at that level people will try to take advantage of you. So before I even make my decision, you know, I'm gonna sit down with him and narrow it all down, because, you know, like I said before, like he's like my second dad, and like he's gonna have an input on my decision, just as like my mom and dad, you know, but mostly it's gonna be me. So that's kind of like a big thing for me as well.
So like for me, I wasn't as talented, as skilled as you guys, but when I came here, I still had the opportunity to come back. So for people that don't know, I'm a third year player here. So I came here, I was like Josh. I was like, man, I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna drop this, do that. I was a 17-year-old kid. I had no clue what was out there. Considering I'm from another country too, I didn't even know what America was like. So I was just here like, all right, I'm here, I'm gonna go get a scholarship. Little did I know that was not gonna happen, and that was not the case. But I've come to terms with that and figured that out. So for the people that come here, and you were like me, and you don't know that how good you actually are, and you get that wake-up call, there's a place here for you. So it's a 2-year school, but I was allowed to come back for a third year, and this is the year where I've truly figured out what I wanted to do. So like off the court, with basketball, I figured out, and everything just came together, but that was only because I had that opportunity to come back and figure it out.
Right.
Any other school would have just been like, all right, you graduated, see ya, on the way out, like, we got your money, thank you, goodbye. But what Coach did, he sat me down, he's like, look, like, you can either go you can either go home and stop playing, or you can come back for one more year. We'll figure some stuff out so that like it was affordable for me to come here, and we did exactly that. And then I got the chance to come back, play again with my mates like that I made from my second year, their first year, experience a whole nother season with them, and then actually figure out what I wanted to do with myself, and like at no real cost to me. Like I didn't have any, like I don't have any, I'm leaving here with zero debt, like, and that's right now the college dream is to leave college with zero debt. So like doing that and taking that option is something that you don't need to come here to get a scholarship. You can come here just to have a good time, play basketball, get an education, and then leave, and you can leave with a smile on your face and without debt crushing you. Like, so like, it's really weird. So you can have two ends of the spectrum. You can have people that come here to get the scholarships, or you can come here to the people that don't even care about scholarships. They just want to play ball. Right. And that's, I think, the beauty of like a JUCO is like you can come and do that sort of stuff. But like, so we'll finish with this. We'll finish up now. What, if you had any advice for people that were coming, what would be your one piece of advice for someone that's watching this that's like, all right, I want to come there?
Well, I have two. One, so my first one is for the scholarship players that want to come here for basketball, right? Number one, don't come here being arrogant. Don't come here, again, thinking you're top of the top. Definitely come here humbled. You don't have to share that you're going for a scholarship. You don't have to boast about it. Just, keep it in yourself. Just know it, keep it in the back of your head. But at the end of the day, when you go on that court, when you do what you have to do, that's gonna show. That's gonna show what you want. You know what I'm saying? If you're busting your butt every day in practice, if you're competitive 24/7, if you have that emotion on the court, if you pick up 24 feet, if you do just everything how you're supposed to do it on that scholarship level, you will get one. It's hard to say, but just like don't come here just automatically think that's gonna happen. Hard work comes from that. Patience comes from that. Buying into the system comes from that, and just keeping a level head comes from that. For the people that's not trying to get a scholarship, that's just coming here just to play ball and having a great time, this is the place to do it. It's a loving family at the end of the day. You make lifelong friendships like I have made. You do things every day, on and off campus, with your friends. It's just everything that you would want from a 2-year school and more. You know what I'm saying? So, it's great. Our benches are ridiculous. I'm telling you, a dunk, a 3-point shot, anything, a tech, we go crazy. So I don't know. It's just something you don't get anywhere else. Our fan section is ridiculous. Thank you for that, CM. And just overall messages: if you come here, you will not regret it. This is just no regrets. You might as well just have that tatted on your forehead, because you're gonna have no regrets, in my opinion. You come here for the right reasons. So I definitely recommend it. I'm not trying to persuade anyone here, but I recommend it myself. It was the best decision for me. I can speak for myself. So.
All right, so Corey, you got one piece of advice you're giving to someone coming in. What is it?
I would say just work hard in all phases of this. The basketball piece, the school piece, just the life piece. That's probably the biggest thing that I learned from coach is that you gotta work hard, because he's one of the hardest working men I know. For all of us, you know what I mean? Like that's what he does. Like he just works hard, and then we just feed off that. So like whoever's coming in, like Josh said, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off that. Like just come in humbled. I'll admit that I wasn't humbled when I walked in here the first time, but I did get humbled. So
but he's good now.
He's good now. He's good now.
So I just say come in here and work hard, man. It's the best decision I ever made in my entire life. I always have a place here, and my lifelong friends, coaches, mentors, staff members, whatever you need, you got help, no matter who it is. So.
All right, so we'll wrap it up there. So for anyone that's watching this and considering coming to CM or you just want to see like what it is like to have a player's perspective of how it is actually here. We're in here like just by ourselves. Like we came early on a Saturday morning just to come and give our perspective before we all leave and go do our own thing, just to give back to CM and give our perspective. So we just want to say thank you to, like, I'll speak on behalf of all of us, thank you to CM, thank you to Coach for giving us this opportunity to play here. And it's been a great 2 years for these guys, 3 years for me. And we hope that like we can come back as alum like many have for us and give back to guys that want to come here in the future. So yeah, if anyone wants to come here, we're willing to reach out, be willing to reach out to us, and we can help.
Anything, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything, reach out. Just get in contact with Coach. Coach will get in contact with us, and we'll reach out to you as soon as possible. Do not be afraid to ask any questions. We'll FaceTime and anything.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, in saying that, we are done.
Thank you.
Let's pack it up.